We're live. How are you, Elvira Hancock? Welcome to Right Stuff.
Thank you.
And
Mrs. Green Retard, would you say your name was?
I said I'm Mrs. Green Jeans or a retiree. That's
Oh,
my
you said
Halloween.
retarded.
That too. That too. That's a possibility. Well, it seems like nobody has joined us. So that's something interesting and new. Oh, there we go. Here it goes. Well, you wanted a new opening, so here we go.
No, that's retarded.
So now, no to the new opening. Okay,
We'll have to discuss this.
What's that?
Is that you dancing?
Yes, it is. when I was over in Korea, that was me. Hello, Howard. Oh, hello, Grandma Joe. How are you? And Howard Zim is with us. How are you, Howard? Me. Yes, yes, I see you. I see you. Ramon, how are you, Ramon? Thanks for joining. And Beer Nuts, how are you, Beer Nut? Ralph Rubinick and Angela Ricca. No, we don't like the opening. Okay.
No, me neither. We'll go back to the other one. You made me Asian in this one.
What's that?
I'm Asian in the new one.
Yes, you are. You're Asian. Oh no, that don't. We're gonna have all kinds of problems for that. What appropriations, cultural appropriations? Is
Well,
that it?
I'm not Asian.
Well,
That's
no, you're not. Um, okay, Lucille Chabon, ROG. I like the old one better. Okay, we'll go back to the old one. Anthony Casone, how are you? Good to have you with us, Anthony. I am a retiree. That's what my Halloween costume is, and we have Elvira Hancock. Who is Scarface? I forget his name.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, but who is he? What was his name?
Tony Montana.
Tony Montana. Don't speak with an accent; you'll get in all kinds of trouble. Yes, the movie star Heron Glenn. Well, she's Elvira Hancock, so it's not Jen; it's Elvira. Everyone. So, how is everybody? So, tell everybody, did you win? You won your Halloween costume?
We did, of
Okay.
course. Of course. Who's the blonde? It's me, Grandma.
Well, Jen and her other half went to Halloween costumes all throughout Staten Island and New York City, and they won first prize in many of them. And he was Tony Montana, she was Elvira Hancock, and here we are. And she's blessed us with her presence. Natasha. No, not that's not Natasha.
No, Svetlana.
Yeah. Sean Miller, how are you? Yeah, it's a great day to join the show. And Debbie Lebedo, our in-house comedian. How are you, Debbie? Well, I forgot what our show is called. Oh, it's called October Surprise. Mick Forty, how are you, Mickey? So it's October Surprise because we're waiting for the October surprise. What are we going to get? We don't know. It's almost over. We only have two more days.
2 more days. Oh, yeah.
29th, yeah. So 2 more days in October. So anyway, we thought that we would bring to you some of the things that we thought were surprising in the campaign. But first, we wanted to start off with this is an old video, but it is one worth watching because the Harris campaign and the Libs are, they had a meltdown that there was a comedian at the rally that you were at, Jen. Maybe you could talk about it, who, made some jokes about different ethnic.
Every ethnic background.
Okay.
Everyone.
And the Libs just descended on it, and they turned that fantastic rally in New York City where there were 20-some thousand in the arena in MSG and another 20 on the streets. And they focused on the one bad joke about Puerto Rico. So, I mean, what was it funny? Was it even funny, Jen? I don't know. I mean,
I didn't even hear that one. I heard the other one he said, but he was referring to, and I sent you a million videos. I don't know if you use them. That's why I send them to you to use them. But when I send you those on Instagram, because one of them, you didn't even look, but one of them explains that Puerto Rico has a huge trash problem. Huge.
oh yeah. The girl. I didn't put
Had
it.
it forever.
Mhm.
And that's what he was referring to.
Mhm.
That, and instead of AOC crying victim again, she
Mhm.
should be crying to fix the issue. But she never ever talks about that.
No, she doesn't. And yes, I saw it and I actually reposted it. But you know, I didn't want to give a lot of credence to it here because to me, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they're calling Trump fascist and Hitler. They're calling us fascists. They, you know, they have been spreading hate everywhere, and they're going to have a meltdown over a comedian who is making cultural jokes, which has been done ad infinitum forever. I mean, if they're going to have a meltdown over these jokes, are you telling me that they're going to be able to serve in war to protect this country? I mean, if they're so hypersensitive, what's going to happen? We're on the brink of World War III.
Because if you could wear a skirt into the army with a mustache and a beard, do you think that it really matters?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I wanted to demonstrate that the libs are not the party of love. So let's see this little situation where some Trump supporters, including Jennifer, were marching in Manhattan and ran into Antifa. Watch.
Knock your shit. I will knock your shit. I will knock your shit. Fuck out of here. Fuck about it. Fuck about it.
Go back over there.
Girl, you can stay, my. No. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave the girl alone. A girl can touch a girl.
Where's the fucking money? Where's the fucking money? Get out of here! Scum!
My girlfriend.
Scum! Meathead! Fuck off, you meathead!
I got my hat back.
That just proves that Brooklyn does not skip a generation. She wasn't born in Brooklyn, but she got it in the genes.
Got it back, but my other two friends weren't so lucky and ran away.
What was that like, Jim? Was it scary?
No, did I look scared?
No, you didn't. But you know, a lot of times, you know, in the moment, you do what you have to do, and then afterwards, you think about it. So
No, I was just hoping that one day I'd see the video, and I did when they posted it. That's what I was worried about because they smacked Willie's phone out of his hands,
yeah,
and Dion ran away. So
yeah. The party of love, the party of love. Debbie's still in the glow of the Trump rally, and as you should be. I think a lot of us are. Work at the Village Halloween for 20 years. Oh,
But that's
he
the
worked in the
parade.
Village.
No,
Okay.
the parade.
Grandma wants to know how you're doing in your beauty contest.
Oh, wonderful. Beautiful
number 2.
dropout.
She's number 2. So everybody, you know, look on my Facebook page, on Jen's Facebook page. You
Oh,
can
that
vote
thing, I
every
forgot
day.
about it.
Yeah, you can vote.
You
every
can't even get them to go on Rumble. You think that they're gonna?
get them to watch here. So, but if all you guys can, you know, go and find Jen and vote, that would be great. Kamala's trick or treating as the president, yeah, as the vice president too, because she's done nothing there. I'm not politically correct, but I didn't think that was funny. I didn't hear it, so I don't know. I
It
just
wasn't funny. It was so stupid, but people laughed. It wasn't an outrage of laughter. Um, I thought it was funny when he said he was talking about the fight in Gaza. How we should just end the war, both sides. No one should. We shouldn't put our money in other people's wars. Stay out of it. And then he said they should do the Palestinians and the Jews should do rock paper scissors to end it. And he goes, but problem is Palestinians will always throw rocks. He goes, and the Jews, they'll never give up the paper. So all you have left is scissors. And everybody laughed at that. But
yeah.
no one's saying that joke.
Yeah. I was at the rally. He was first, and the rest after him drowned him out. I didn't even remember what he said until that night. However, he should not have said that because the lamestream media are shocked, and he put the blood in the water, and they ran with it, desperate. Well, listen. Here's the thing: if a comedian making an off-color joke at a rally is going to stop you from voting for Donald Trump, but Kamala Harris and Clinton and all of them calling Trump a fascist, calling all of us a fascist, is not going to encourage you not to vote for her, then I have no words. Then I don't think that Trump is your president.
You should not be voting. You should not be allowed. Give
I-
your vote to one of the migrants.
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, this country has lost its sense of humor. And for comedians like Jen and others, it's impossible. I mean, and yeah, you're going to have some bad jokes and they're going to be, I mean, look at Don Rickles. Don Rickles opened for Reagan and people roared. And the jokes that he told were far worse than what's his name
Please,
said.
I told a rape joke at a rape benefit. I had no idea for the victim who's dead, who got killed by her boyfriend who raped her. I had no idea. I was called acidic in the newspaper, and
but
he's going to be shunned from the industry because he's a Republican, not because of this. And I said that as soon as he got on stage, I said goodbye, career, and I looked at Jimmy and I said he's done. He's done because all of us had to hide it all those years. We had to literally go in corner. We did. Jim Norton, we used to hide in our cars to talk. We wouldn't even do it at the Comedy Cellar. We would talk outside of the Comedy Cellar because we couldn't talk about it.
Yeah. The problem is we've all become hypersensitive. Well, not all of us. The country is, everything has become hypersensitive. Everybody has anxiety, is on medication. And this is really scary because if you can't laugh at yourself, that's it. You're done. I mean, if you don't have humor, it's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. You have to have humor, and usually humor is directed. It's self-deprecating. It's other people. There's all kinds of humor, and it wasn't a funny joke. Other of his jokes were funny. I mean, I watched the Tom Brady roast, and that wasn't, all those jokes weren't funny. I mean, humor is difficult, and there's always an opportunity to offend somebody. Even
anything, they were going to pull anything out of anything.
Well, that's all they can
continue. Because Mike Rappaport yelled at everyone for calling it a Nazi rally. He did, and they were going to find something to verify, to validate what they were saying.
Yeah, they didn't get the joke. Ramon, well,
it was a stupid joke.
They will join with an enemy, and yes, we are in trouble as a nation. Yeah, we are. Lorraine, how are you? Antifa are just anti-fun. Yeah, they certainly are. That pisses me off. Should have knocked them out. We're on your, yes, they are indeed. Hi, Billy Teague. Antifa is going to riot big time when Trump wins. Oh, absolutely. It's already happening, right? The setup is happening. This whole fascist thing is for a reason. She's going to stand out there today to remind everybody, January 6th and all this, and that he's going to let the January 6th people out and those terrible, horrible people, they're going to overthrow your government. I mean, I think it's remarkable that there are so many Americans who want to protect the status quo government and are so pissed off that a bunch of people marched to the Capitol and said, we want to talk about this vote and what's going on. Because if we didn't think that there were shenanigans, nobody would have asked the question, right? If there weren't so many shenanigans, and the biggest shenanigan was the Hunter Biden laptop. The other big shenanigans were the legislatures not meeting, but them changing their state voting laws. That was a big problem. And now
What about
today,
January 21st until when did the riots end? In August of 2021, 2020?
oh, you mean the George Floyd riots? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, no, we're not allowed to talk about that. Okay, because again, it's all smoke and mirrors. But since we're talking about what she's going to talk about tonight, I just want to show you what happened over the weekend in Pennsylvania. And then we can start talking about why so many people arrived in the Capitol on January 6th in 2020. And here's what's going on now.
Is on high alert after Lancaster County reported potential voter registration fraud. Fox 43's Alyssa Kratz joining us now with more on that. Alyssa.
Evan, that's right. Of course, we heard from the Lancaster County Board of Elections and District Attorney on Friday. They've launched a criminal investigation there. Now, York County not going quite that far yet, but officials say they may be dealing with a similar situation. York County's Office of Elections recently received a large delivery containing thousands of voter registration forms and mail-in ballot applications from a third-party group.
It's not unusual to get large stacks of voter registrations or large stacks of requests for mail-in ballots. It's just this was an overabundance of registrations from one particular organization.
The county is now taking a closer look at those forms and applications.
We're in a phase now we need to do our homework before we go and make accusations when we don't have the data to back it up.
This comes after Lancaster County officials announced they are investigating approximately 2,500 voter registration forms for potential fraud. The batch of applications, which had false names, incorrect addresses, and other discrepancies, is being traced back to a large-scale canvassing operation.
It appears to be an organized effort at this point, but of course it's an ongoing investigation, and we'll be looking into who exactly participated in it and how far up it goes.
The Department of State released a statement regarding the issues in Lancaster County, saying in part, the department applauds the efforts of the election staff for their diligent work in spotting this potential fraud and bringing it to the attention of law enforcement. The department guidance in cases like this is for counties to immediately contact law enforcement, which is exactly what Lancaster County officials did. As their officials noted, grassroots efforts to register voters across the Commonwealth are important and legitimate, and the safeguards in the system allowed them to identify and isolate these suspicious applications. And Secretary of State Al Schmidt addressed the investigation in a virtual media update on Monday.
We still don't have a lot of details about these applications, so it's important we not rush to judgment. We hope for a speedy and accurate conclusion to the investigation.
So, I didn't say if they were Republican or Democrat, though.
Oh, the applications? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take a stab at it. Republicans don't generally have not-for-profits registering voters, and they won't say the name of the organization. But here we go, folks. Here we go. So now everybody's on the lookout. Why? Because of what happened in 2020, right? Otherwise, that would have slipped right through. But because of January 6th, because of 2020, now we're being diligent and we're looking at these applications. So, I mean, she could stand out there and she could, try to talk about the fact that Trump, tried to overthrow his own government, which was crazy because you can't overthrow yourself, right? If he was truly a fascist, he would have, Jen's gone. If he was truly a fascist, he would have gotten the army and he would have stormed the Capitol and said, "That's it. We're not going to certify the election, and I'm not leaving." But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So they're trying to rewrite history and force feed bullshit down people's throats. And here we go. We've got it already happening in Pennsylvania. So anyway. Howard says, "I'm proud of you. You stood up for yourself, Jen. Thank God NYPD was like that DC cop who shot that poor veteran." Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you, Lucille. I appreciate you voting for Jen. I know if you don't have Facebook, that's unfortunately
And
the only.
every day you get to vote once a
Yeah.
day. That's what I need. It's for the next few weeks.
Lorraine likes your hair. Ramon voted for you. He should have had Roseanne open for him. Thanks, Colleen. It doesn't change my vote, but wasn't funny. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not funny. It's just not funny. Hi, Johnny Collins. Thank you for joining us, and I'm glad you're with Trump. Agree, Letitia. These people were never Trump supporters to begin with. Bye, bye, Felicia. Finally got on. Hi, how are you, Susan? It shows the orange is the new black. Yeah. I told a deaf joke at a deaf convention. Lol, nobody heard it. The thing is, that comedian George Lopez, he had a show for a while.
Yeah.
Well, he actually told a joke not long ago. He's a big Kamala supporter, by the way. And he told a black joke. And a group of black people in the audience, kind of heckled him. And he started screaming at them. And I would show you, but I don't want to get dinged for using TMZ's film. But he told them to get the F out. And he actually threw them out of the theater. And he said, if you can't take a joke, blah, blah, blah. And he's right. He's right. You paid money to go to a show. Not the same case with the Trump rally. Nobody paid money. But, even bad jokes have, what are you going to do? Bad timing for those jokes. That's about it. Yeah, well, you know what? Again, I agree. I would have fired whoever hired the guy. But what are you going to do? Leftist who hates others actually hates themselves. Yep. Sanford and Son, All in the Family, Chico and the Man, etc. would never be on TV today. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, Howard Zinn. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. You're absolutely right. Never would. Lots of things that we had in the past that were critically acclaimed. And they were, culturally inappropriate. Wouldn't be on today. Hey, Martin Lee. Yep, 1 week to go for the showdown. I'm good just waiting for the election. Okay. Well, I'm going to say it again. Go now. Go early, because we got them shaking in their shoes and they're starting to make mistakes. And what's happening is, because Republicans are finally going out to vote early, we're gaining momentum, large momentum. Right now, the Democrats, who usually are the ones that vote early and in big numbers in Pennsylvania, I believe, don't hold me to this, but I believe in 2020, 2.5 million Democrats voted by mail. Absentee mail, not at the polls, in total, and 600,000 Republicans voted in total by mail in 2020. Right now, only 800,000 Democrats have voted by mail, and 400,000 Republicans have already voted by mail. So think about that. It's a mind fuck for them when we go out early and we vote. So I would just
Staten
say,
Island hasn't. They're the lowest borough.
Oh, really?
Vote early.
Then
But that's because they hate voting early. They don't. We all think it's a conspiracy. But
yeah. Yes, I saw that, Colleen. She pulled millions in ads from North Carolina because she knows she's going to lose, and now she's spending it in Virginia. And everybody knows what happened in Virginia, right? They purged the voter rolls, and then the Department of Justice came in, and it was just under 2,000 people who checked off that they weren't citizens, or who said they weren't citizens. And the DOJ came in and said that they had to put them back in. So again, another state to look at. And it's interesting that it's the swing states. You don't hear about this stuff in South Carolina, in New York. You don't hear about it there. But you hear about it.
Because people in New York are crooked. They're not going to say anything.
Yeah. Well, but what I'm saying is that there's no concerted effort to register all these people to vote in those states. So those states isn't the right to vote just as important? Hey, listen, I recently took, and I'm not going to say who, but people I love very much, to go and vote. And I know that they were voting for Kamala. I know they were. But to me,
Did you leave them there?
I sat with them. I sat in the car and waited for them to vote. And it took an hour for them to do it. But in my opinion, it is so important that everybody vote their conscience and vote for what they want. That they have to go out to vote, even if that person is not voting for your candidate. Because if you don't encourage people to vote, then you don't have a true representation of the country. So, you got to take people to vote, even if you don't think they're voting for your candidate. Help them make sure that they exercise their right to vote, because we want real people voting, people who have a right to vote, Americans voting, whether they're supporting your candidate or not.
Even if they have to walk home.
Yeah. When I left the rally, Manhattan was filled with red MAGA hats. It was red that night.
Yeah, and surprisingly, there were so many crazies on the street, but no one said a word. They were silently trying to like be, confrontational, but nobody did anything. The NYPD, I think they reported 70,000 people watching from the streets. Yeah, today. Mm-hmm.
Now think about that.
It took us an hour to get down the steps. There was only 5 steps in front of MSG.
Think about that, okay? Trump rally in true blue New York City. True blue, the heart of lib country, okay? And the heart of, where illegal migrants are, the heart of where all these homeless are, the heart of where you can, smoke pot anywhere. And there were no incidences. There was no riots. No. There was no injuries.
No, I applaud both sides on that one.
I mean, that's what America is supposed to be. Not like this. Hold on a second. I'll show you. This was unfortunate. This is Kamala Harris supporters confronting Trump supporters. Watch.
Look at you people. Are you ashamed at all? Look at her face. Are you ashamed? No, look. Everyone look at her face. Why did you bring your children?
I like what the other girl did, though.
Yeah, a baby. You're screaming in the face of a baby. They had a meltdown over a bad joke. She just screamed in the face.
And that's where her mental capacity level's at. A baby.
Well, apparently, they believe that they're just a clump of cells. So, we'll just get rid of them. And they're showing that they don't even give a crap about a baby. So, why the news didn't pick that up other than Fox, I have no clue. Did you see it on New York One?
No, I saw it on Instagram, which is way more popular than
exactly.
No,
but mainstream media had nothing to say about it. But yet the joke, right, of a comedian about Puerto Rico, that every single newspaper, every single media outlet, every single mainstream, they coordinated it, and they called the Trump rally a rally of hate, and they're all echoing it.
And he didn't even say Puerto Rican people. He said Puerto Rico. Yeah. And it literally is full of garbage.
It is full.
And no one sends them help.
It's destroyed after hurricane after hurricane after hurricane.
No, it's because they export so much that is the trash from that. There's nothing, they can't even clean it up. It's overtaking Puerto Rico because of the amount of stuff they send out. It's the trash from all of that.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is that's a Commonwealth of America, right? That's part of our country. So where was Obama? How come that didn't get cleaned up under Obama? Where was Biden? Biden's the president right now. It should not be such a problem. And you know what? And
it's not eco-friendly.
Well,
I'll tell you that. Mhm.
no, it isn't. But that comedian brought a lot of attention to the fact that
He
Puerto
did.
Rico is
It
suffering.
has a problem.
And you know how many people wound up Googling about Puerto Rico and why he called it? So many people. So I'm not saying it was a good joke. I'm just saying that even.
And I said he might have done something good. Next week he'll be a hero.
Yes, right, exactly.
If he's smart, he will go to Puerto Rico with a petition.
Yeah, right.
And get himself out of this. Just go. Go to petition.
Trump would really destroy her in the election, but they're going to cheat, so I'm holding my breath. Listen, you can only do what you could do. Go out and vote. We already see what's happening. We already see that they're trying. Or, you know what? We have taken such heat for being there on January 6th, but I knew we needed to be there. And the reason I knew we needed to be there was because we were raising the question of how could you just change rules like that and let anybody vote? Now people are focused on it, like the joke in Puerto Rico. Now people are focused on it. Because of January 6th, there is going to be eyes everywhere this election season. So I'm going to say that this is probably going to be the most secure and safest election we ever had. Too many eyes on it, too many eyes, but they were funny.
Yeah. And everyone's a whistleblower, so
yeah,
everyone get their whistles ready because they're just ratting at everyone. The mayor, child services, there's whistleblowers now.
Yeah. Local news is saying if you see any videos of ballots being destroyed, to just disregard as it's Russian disinformation to destroy confidence in election. I just don't get it. I hear the Amish are voting Trump.
Maybe those were their votes. Maybe that was it. The Amish pack.
Yeah, right. They were registering voters. Bucks County, PA turned 20 people online to vote, saying so many people are voting that they need to count before they continue to let people to vote because what? Okay. They're not allowed to count in Pennsylvania, I don't think, before the election. Turned down 20 online. Oh, okay. There should be a 10-year prison sentence for voter fraud. Bingo. I would like to see that, especially.
There's not even a 10-year sentence for murder.
It's true. You're absolutely right. Howard Zinn, 1,000%. You're right, Jen. How can president overthrow was a setup for how many years now? God bless our President Trump. Yep. Her voice is so annoying in the various accents.
Don't talk about me like that.
Let's see if I can find one. I'm all over the place. How's this one?
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
That was her job prior when she was trying to get in with what was his name? Joe Willis? Joe Brown. What was his name?
Not Joe Brown. I have a clip from Joe Brown. Willie Brown.
Willie Brown.
Hi, Francine. No worries. We're here. We're as usual. We go over. There was a report about drop boxes being set on fire, and one of them was arrested. Yeah, I heard that.
I would never put it in a drop box. I'll tell you that.
Susan DeRema voted on Saturday. Good for you. North Carolina Dem turnout down 314K, rep up 9K. So this is, this is what it is. We need to F with their minds. Get out and vote. Screw that waiting till election day. They can screw around on election day. They can't screw around if they don't know when you're coming. I waited 2.5 hours happily online to vote. Do it. I've always, especially if this is going to be the largest turnout election, think about how many hours you're going to have to wait on election day. Get out and vote. I've always, for people who wants to vote early, don't wait, do it now. Good. Yeah, I love the Red Fox too. He was great. I'm afraid of voting early. They will mysteriously burn down the polling places. No, Howard. But if they know that we go on election day, it's amazing how lights go out, how machines don't work. Howard, go now. Hi. Oh, hey, John Mueller. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. didn't George Lopez told a joke about Mexicans? Yeah, he's constantly. George Lopez tells very off-color jokes. All right, so let's see if I could get back on track here. All right, well, speaking of Harris, Brown, and all that, let's just see what Kamala Harris did when she was district attorney and attorney general. And
Nothing.
She did something. She actually used the swipe of her pen to destroy people's lives.
As California's Attorney General, Harris promoted enforcement of a law that allowed prosecutors to seek jail time for parents of truant kids.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
I thought that was crazy. I was like, how can you lock parents up?
If you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect.
I opened the door and I see at least 7 or 8 cops wanted to arrest me. As a matter of fact, they did.
And frankly, the prosecutors in my office who volunteered to do this? My homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors. And they went over there and I said, when you go over there, look really mean.
She had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. That person could be arrested. They could lose time from work and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community.
I lost my job and couldn't pay rent, and we got evicted.
Weeks later, I could dismiss the charges, but their life would forever be changed.
I became homeless. We had to move into a motel.
All because of the swipe of my pen.
I don't agree what Kamala Harris did to my mom, and I don't agree with what she's done to other parents as well.
It's disgusting.
Power of the pen. Very, very powerful. Be careful it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. That's what she did to people in California who didn't send their kids to school or whose kids were, as that mother, she had a handicapped daughter who was out of school. And guess what? Guess what culture most of the people were? They were Mexican and they were Black. Isn't that interesting? And let's hear what Joe Brown has to say about how Kamala treated Black men and women in California.
Do you think she like Black men?
No, I don't think she does. No, she doesn't. I mean, look at it. Most of these women that she locked up for the truancy problems were Black women. Damn near everybody she was getting these horribly stiff sentences to as recommendations, they were young Black men. What wound up happening, all of these people she withheld information on that could have exculpated them so they wouldn't have been found guilty, they were Black men. She was particularly harsh in the way Black men got treated when they came through the system that she had prosecutorial preeminence in. You see, she set up no programs to come up with work alternatives. She set up no programs to deal with rehabilitation. She set up no programs to deal with counseling. She set up no programs to offer alternatives to criminality. She just came down hard, and it's like, what did you get from her? You must have had a white client. Yeah, I did. Well, what do your Black clients get? Not the same thing as the white ones. And you had enough Black attorneys who had white clients to know the difference.
That is one bad breakup speech.
No, he wasn't dating her. That was Willie Brown. Willie Brown. This is Joe Brown. He's on TV. He's
That's Joe Brown? Oh my God.
That's Judge Joe Brown. Yeah.
He got old.
Yeah, well, we all do. Hi, Kevin Jones. Glad you made it. If you wear a Biden Kamala hat at a Trump rally, the worst that will happen is people will make fun of you. If you wear a Trump hat anywhere, you have a chance of being assaulted. Yeah, good point. You should be wearing a Trump hat. I am a cruiser. I'm a retired cruiser for Halloween. Trump rally at MSG was epic and the energy was overwhelming. God bless America. Jen, you want to tell everybody how you managed to get where you got? Where you sat?
Well, that was the Trump. Well, my neighbor got us 4 VIP tickets from the Trump campaign. Then we cut the line. We got there at 104, I think, and by the time 113 hit, we were inside. We cut the lines because of the other half's pull, and then as soon as we walked in, one of his campaigners, one of his volunteers or whatever he is, looked at me and my neighbor, and he goes, "Guys, you want to be on TV?" And of course, we had our 2 men with us. He's like, "You have to, do this, sit here," and we did. So we got 4 rows up from right behind the podium, and it was lovely. So we had to behave, and somebody actually got kicked out, and they were on point. There was a woman there, and me and Sammy were like looking at everyone to see, because we were like so certain there was going to be like protesters inside, and she had on, remember, Applebaum, his name, from the Nazi rally. He was the Jewish man. So she's wearing this shirt the whole time, and her Trump hat was backwards. And I noticed her because her Trump hat was backwards. Now, why would you wear it backwards if you're sitting right behind the podium?
Yep.
So then he, out of nowhere, called her up while they were speaking. He's like, "Come here." And she got up. She's like, "What?" He's like, "What's with the shirt?" And she said, "What?" He's like, "What's with the shirt? You tell me." She goes, "What? It's below Applebaum. You don't like him?" He goes, "I'm not saying that." He goes, "But I'm saying get out." And he kicked her out. They caught people. They were Secret Service just pulling people out before anything happened. They saw. It was so good. And you couldn't Google who that was because there's no internet. They shut it down right before Trump came on. I knew it was the Jew.
They were there,
I guess.
Trouble.
Yeah, I mean, of course he is. He's an iconic hero, but she was wearing it because she thought we were all Nazis.
That's right. That's right. So they were there to get some footage for Harris and the news media to try and make it.
They never made it.
Nazi, and they never made it. Good. Whenever a person says they don't vote, I make it plain and simple. Don't complain about expenses or taxes. Yeah, don't vote, don't bitch. That's it. You forfeit your right to bitch. Several elderly people came into the headquarters to get help to vote their first time. Yeah, I love that. This will break the record for most people voting ever. I agree. Trump's wave surfs up. Yep. Well, everything is pointing to it. So you got to get out to vote, Howard Zim. The majority of Democrat liberals don't go to rallies. They are just told to vote for. Could be. I mean, there are a lot of Republicans. Look at the Christians, the 2A people. They don't vote at all. They don't trust it, so they don't vote. Then I don't know. I'm not sure.
Wait, so I saw Debbie. I saw Susan Derima at the rally, but Sammy, who's on here now, say hello, Sammy. Sammy's the one who got us.
Hi, Sammy.
So now she had to stay to the very, 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 very end. You know me with my ADD.
Yeah.
Trump is repeating himself over and over. So I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, I need food. I didn't eat all day since the day before. I'm now mentally unchecked. I'm gone. And I'm leaving. And I see them. I couldn't even bend down because I was going to faint. I had no food. They closed the concession stand. There was no water. I was dying. It's like, oh, hi. Done. And Sammy's still there dancing with Trump. Texting him, like, fuck out of here. I was like, I want to leave.
Well, you were already at a rally. So, and you've been to have many, many experiences for a lot. Oh, she's gone again. For a lot of the people that were there, that was a fantastic opportunity and evening. And they all were kumbaya and they were in the moment. I mean, it looked fantastic on TV. Yeah. Okay. So we're behind for some reason on the comments. Yeah. I guess that baby is voting for Trump. Typical liberal screaming at kids. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. No surprise for how. Yep. Exactly. How they abort babies and that's how they treat them. Can't believe what you did to that kid. Disgusting. But we didn't see it on the news. That's the more important thing. We didn't see it on the news. We only saw it on social media. I would have broke her jaw if she yelled at my granddaughter. Yep. I was mad when that guy stole Jen.
Hat, my hat.
Her hat,
Oh,
yeah.
It was a girl, believe it or not.
It shows that women who was screaming at the baby shows that her man and her man's lover are voting for Trump. They're full of hate, and we've had enough. They are full of hate. Yeah. Has a landfill that is overtaking the country. Yes, yes. And now people know about it. So what's Biden going to do about it? We sent how many billions? $600 billion to Ukraine, and Puerto Rico can't handle their garbage problem. How about take a couple of $1 million, maybe $1 billion, and send a skiff over there and get rid of some of that garbage? Help them out. They're a commonwealth of our country. So it goes once again to show you that Biden and Harris don't care about us. They care about what's happening everywhere else, including they don't care about Puerto Rico. All that money out. So you want to talk about something? Talk about why that trash is still in Puerto Rico. Talk about why Puerto Rico hasn't been rebuilt. Talk about why
80%. They said 80% of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it used to have enormous tourism. It used to be beautiful. But after hurricane, after hurricane, after hurricane, and the trash situation, people are not spending their tourism dollars there. So they're getting slammed left and right. And where are the Democrats? Where's Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? Well, I don't know. All right, but we want to talk about hate, right? So let's think about it for a minute. They're talking about, how Black people can't get IDs, and that's why you can't have voter ID. Well, listen to what the young people in school now believe about Black people.
I think that's harder for Black people to go online.
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed.
I also think there's a repression of Black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African American.
I was only laughing because I thought you were going to show my video of that guy that didn't have a license, and he said he was a cat. Oh, that's why I was laughing. Not because of this. This is disgusting. Those children should be.
But think about it. For our Black and Hispanic and Asian and whatever, but mostly our Black and Hispanic viewers, you tell me something. They think they're concerned, right? Concerned for Black people. But is it racist that they believe that all Black people are low income, that all Black people are low intelligent, that all, people that come from other countries are impoverished and, are not smart enough to make it, that they have a hero complex?
That's worse than spewing a word. That's the worst thing because you actually believe it. You know what I mean? That's homebred racism right there. That's in the house.
That is the worst form of racism. We were at a place where it was starting to make sense, where young people were we all just got along, and it wasn't that we identified people by color or race or religion. We were at that place. Now we've got people who are bashing the Jews and talking about Black people as if they're less than. I mean,
and who created that?
Who created that? The whole freaking complaining, whining Harris situation. This is now what we're teaching our kids. Is that racism? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. Obama caused the division. He invented hate speech and hate crime. George W. Bush coined it, the soft bigotry of low expectations. Great comment. Convicted felons can vote after they serve their sentence. Yeah, in some states, not in all. Yeah, thank you, Maria. Thank you. Because look, I'm not Black. I'm Italian. I feel what they're doing to Christopher Columbus is very unfortunate, and it pisses me off. But I'm not going to comment on whether or not Black people feel uncomfortable that young people now think that they are too low IQ or low economic or low whatever to be able to enjoy America. Is that a problem for our Black viewers? I want to know.
By the way, we give Narcan away for free. We give the motorized scooter batteries away for free now. Give non-drivers IDs instead of $7. Give them away for free. Go to the DMV
exactly.
and
Why,
get it for
why do
free.
we have to pay
And
for
then
it?
everyone has it. It's $7 normally.
Yeah.
Instead of giving all this other stuff away for free, cut back on one ridiculous item and just give them non-drivers IDs for free.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Well, again, this is created by the complaining, carrying on, crying that has gone on. We've gone.
They created
backward.
division. No,
Yep. The guy who attacked Pelosi's husband got life in prison. Isn't that interesting? Life in prison. Yep.
But the Menendez brothers, whose father was raping them, but they shot the mother also with a shotgun who never touched them. They're getting out. Okay.
Yeah, they're getting out. Okay, so, and just another point, I don't want to go off on a tangent on abortion, but just so that everybody knows, since Roe v. Wade has been overturned, there have been more abortions performed than ever in the history of America. So now think about that.
No.
Think about that. We've talked about why that is, because they've made it sexy. They've made it like, oh, let's just
drugs are illegal and everyone gets them. And guys, don't worry, because the ones that are complaining about it aren't getting pregnant by anyone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. No one's hitting it.
While we're talking about drugs, isn't it interesting that Kamala Harris's pitch to Black men were that they were going to that she was going to legalize pot and give out free money, but to Puerto Rican and Hispanic men it was had to do with work and taxes on your work. So go on her website and look at her 85 pages of policy. So for Black men, they could stay high all day and she's going to give you free money because you don't have enough. But if you're Hispanic, she's going to give you tax breaks. No drugs. So
that's on her website.
It's on her website. The Party of Death. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else I could find for you today. Okay. Well, Mayor Adams, he was asked if Trump was a fascist, and Mayor Adams said no. But the reason he was asked, of course, was because Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, everybody else said that he was. So I thought that I played this very quick clip of what real fascism looks like. Listen.
Just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
That if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
I'm sorry, I'm kicked off TikTok for 10 years. 10 years. For nothing. Because of my Antifa video. That wasn't even false information. That was me getting beat up by Antifa.
Go figure it out. Go figure it out. Listen, here's the thing. The media is so in Kamala Harris's camp that today I Googled, because I was going to put a clip in front of Kamala Harris admitting at her CNN town hall or stating that Donald Trump was a fascist. So when I Googled it, NBC News clip of the town hall came up, and it came up with something on the screen saying, "I'm sorry, this video has timed out." Now, when have you ever seen a YouTube video time out? But the whole thing is that they wanted her to stop, pushing the fascist stuff because it wasn't working, because the Republicans were getting pissed off and going out to vote, or people were. I'm not going to say Republicans. The MAGA were going out to vote in huge numbers, and so they're trying to rein it back. But she's going to stand outside the observatory today and talk about January 6th because they think that plays. Let's see if it plays. All right. Here's an interesting clip about with J.D. Vance and Tapper actually talking about all the things Trump said. And here's JD Vance's answer. Listen.
Yourself a basic question about network integrity. You guys talked about the Russia hoax nonstop.
The FBI was investigating it. The FBI was investigating it, and we recovered them.
And so you took the words of unnamed FBI agents and put them on your network as if they were the gospel truth. You did it again and again. A viewer of your network would have believed that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin conspired in 2016. No. That was totally and preposterously false.
No.
Well, that's
what you just
that's
said is
why.
false. We covered an FBI investigation. I don't know why you want to talk about the FBI investigation.
You covered it in a way that gave credence to anonymous sources' accusations. You did it yourself. Your network did it, Jake. But again, can we talk about the issues that Americans care most about?
I'm talking about things that Donald Trump has said.
Yes.
If you have an issue with whether or not he's talking about the economy enough, that's between you and your running mate. I'm talking about things he has said this week.
Every single rally that he does, he talks about how he wants to unleash American energy so we can lower the cost of groceries. He talks about the fact that housing has become unaffordable. He talks about the wide open border, Jake. Kamala Harris and her allies, you know, it's interesting. Kamala Harris and her media allies, and I would put CNN in this category. You guys,
they wouldn't.
You guys seem to care.
I'll tell you that they wouldn't.
Well, they should watch your network more because you guys seem to care more about Donald Trump's past than the future of the American people. We're running this campaign on making the American dream.
I'm specifically asking about how Donald Trump is going to be president in the future should he win, and then we're being told
he's going to pursue economic policies that lower the cost of groceries and make life more affordable again. He talks about it every single day on the campaign trail, and so do I. What you're talking about is an anonymously sourced story, or one guy
Nothing anonymously sourced.
or who
Zero
one guy who was a disgruntled employee.
I told you
where five other people pushed back against him and said that what he said was dishonest. So why don't we talk about the policy that's affecting American citizens and not what Donald Trump allegedly said, according to one guy who's pissed off because he got fired by Donald Trump?
Trying to be as cool as JD. He is the Antifa.
He's the MAGA Antifa. Yeah. I mean,
I hated him in the beginning, and now I love him.
Yeah, me too. Vance is brilliant. He really is. I mean, I don't care if you don't like Trump. You got to vote for this guy to be in office because this guy means business. I like Vance more and more. He will be our next president after Trump. I agree. Yeah, he is.
He doesn't even stutter. I've never heard him stutter.
Nope. I mean, he's innately brilliant. I mean, the guy pulled himself up from his bootstraps, and I mean, look at how he lived and look at where he got himself. Harvard. I mean, come on a scholarship. The guy knows his shit. People in government fear of losing control of people, which they have no right to do that. Let me tell you what, that's what this all is. And the fact that JD Vance said it. Trump talks about the economy. He talks about gasoline. He talks about a lot of stuff. He weaves, he bobs, he does all that stuff. But he talks about how he's going to make America great again and how he did make America great. But the news media doesn't want to talk about that. They want to talk about everything else. Why? Because she has no policy. And they figure if they get people angry enough, people are going to vote for Kamala.
Oh, yeah.
Well, wrong.
No, they're saying, like New York, they say that when they're interviewing, she has great policies, but never once did they say, what's your favorite policy?
Right.
What's your favorite?
Right. Exactly. How are you going to do it? You haven't done it yet. So how are you going to do it? I mean, take us through the steps. You've been in the White House now 4 years, working side by side with Joe Biden. What mistakes did he make? What are you going to correct? What are you going to do different? Well, no, when they ask her that question, she says, nothing comes to mind. So we're going to get 2.0, Joe Biden 2.0, Joe Biden in a dress. I mean, really? Come on. This is nuts. This is
nuts. The VP is just like Biden.
Yeah, it's just, and she takes days off. We haven't seen freaking Biden. When we do, it's a freaking blithering mess. And, she takes days off. Trump has been going for 60 days straight. He hasn't stopped yet. It's just freaking crazy that we're fighting our news media. And no wonder now we have, the thing is, they're blowing up social media. They're blowing it up, and they're forcing people to actually watch social media to get their news. And so they're literally putting themselves out of business. Stupid, stupid, stupid. And of course, we saw now all the newspapers are now, they're not going to endorse presidential candidates anymore, right? Wall Street Journal and others not.
Posted.
Yeah, but these Washington newspapers are not going to do that anymore. They've decided. So Kamala didn't get the endorsement. It's in the street, ladies and gentlemen. Howard Zinn, go out and vote tomorrow. Go out and vote tomorrow or the next day. Vote before Election Day. The vibration is in the street. The momentum is moving. They see it and they don't want to be on the wrong side of it. You got to go out and vote. Yep, he's much stronger than I anticipated. Me too. I really, honestly, I thought that Tim Scott or Marco.
Me too. No one would ever live up to his. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's as strong as Trump, which is what Trump saw.
He's more intellectually proper and stimulating to be, not the way he speaks.
And he's fearless like Trump. He's going to say what he believes. And I actually don't mind that he didn't like Trump in the beginning, because that tells me he's an independent thinker. So I like it. I like it a lot. All she cares about is the power, not the country. I don't even think she cares about the power. She just cares about the payoff. And let me tell you something. If we think that that this country is on the up and up, anybody who is going to sit there and defend the government that is in place right now, I mean, I love the Constitution. I love the Bill of Rights. I love how our government is structured. But the people that are in there right now, they are all corrupted, every single one of them. And until we get corruption out of government, which I don't think we can ever do, the only way to do it is to turn over, and the people have to make their voices heard. That's how we're going to keep it on the up and up. Billions and trillions of dollars wasted. Again, Puerto Rico buried under mounds of trash and still not recovered from all of the hurricanes. And we're sending almost $1 trillion over to Ukraine. This is crazy. Who would think a man with dementia is still smarter than Kamala Harris? Excellent. Guy in Rescue delivered a truckload of supplies to my church today in North Carolina. That's fantastic. She is a sociopath. And you want to know what? I got to tell you something. She's a liar. She's a sociopathic liar. Yeah, a puppet is perfect. That's exactly what she is. Bad Bunny should go clean it up.
Bad Bunny's the worst. I thought Bad Bunny OD'd last year. I had no idea that thing was still alive.
I was disappointed Trump didn't have Jen paint at the rally at MSG. No, there was Scott for that. I was listening to somebody talking today about how everything is kind of upside down, how the Dems point at Trump, but they're really doing it. And we saw there about how Hillary called Trump a fascist, but meanwhile she's saying, we should limit free speech. And Kamala is saying, we're coming in to get your guns. Remember that guy, what was it, Crisscross? That wore all their clothes backwards. Was it called Crisscross? Whatever.
They were like, yeah, I guess.
They were a rap group. I was
Crisscross.
Yeah, it was Crisscross. All right, I want to end with this because I know we're over, but you need to know it. Just so that you know, Trump was right again. He talked about why Social Security was going to be in danger with these migrants coming over, and everybody said, "What are you talking about? Well, watch."
1 year after the start of Russia's invasion, thousands of Ukrainians are temporarily living in the U.S.
There are some viral videos claiming Ukrainians are receiving benefits like Social Security while they're living here.
So Jerry Carnes with our Verify team is digging into the claim.
President Joe Biden is committed to welcoming 100,000 Ukrainians who fled the war there to find their way here to the United States. There are viral videos like this one questioning that commitment.
President Biden has made it legal for Ukrainian immigrants to get SSI checks.
Our viewers asked us to verify if Ukrainians here in the United States are receiving benefits like Social Security. Let's check. Our sources are the Social Security Administration, the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the Uniting for Ukraine program, and immigration lawyer Charles Cook. According to Cook, there are 3 ways Ukrainians can legally seek refuge here. One is through the Uniting for Ukraine program. Those who qualify can stay in the U.S. for up to 2 years as humanitarian parolees and receive some benefits.
They're eligible for food stamps. They're eligible for supplemental Social Security, SSI. They're eligible for insurance, Medicare.
The Social Security Administration says that certain Ukrainians in the U.S. may be eligible for SSI benefits. The Office of Refugee Resettlement confirms humanitarian parolees may also be eligible for assistance through existing programs, like the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, health care through Medicaid, and food through SNAP.
No, they're not lifetime on the taxpayer dole. This is basically helping refugees who couldn't help themselves.
So we can verify it's true. Some Ukrainians who have arrived in the United States since Russia's invasion of their country may apply and could qualify for benefits like supplemental Social Security for a limited amount of time.
Okay, listen, and those are real refugees, not all of the Venezuelans and everybody that are living in hotels in the city in Times Square. They just came through without anything, with no reasoning, with their iPhone 12s and 14s in their hands and their Air Jordans on. These are people that were fleeing a war where they were being bombed and killed.
Fleeing a war that America encouraged, because they encouraged Zelensky not to sign the agreement that was in place. And, but more importantly, let's think broader, Jen. They're humanitarian parolees. All those CBP-1 app applicants, what are they? Humanitarian parolees. All the people that Kamala Harris, that the border bill that she wanted to.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're all now humanitarian parolees. Yeah. They all are right now because of the executive order that Joe Biden signed. Humanitarian parolees. So if the Ukrainians can receive it,
that's what I'm
so
saying.
Can everybody else? Do you understand? So the ones that are going through the cracks are probably the ones that want to do us harm. The ones that are not applying, but the others are all applying. So once again, Donald Trump was right. How many billions of dollars? We've already gotten reports that it's cost hundreds of billions of dollars. I think it was 200 billion. That's what the report said, that it's cost the country so far in the however millions of people have come over as humanitarian parolees. Do you believe that that's all there is? Do you believe it's only $200 billion? It's
no. Well, did you see the head of defense said they told him that they claimed that it would cost $80 billion per 1 million refugees to send them back.
Yeah.
So to send 1 million people, it's going to cost $80 billion. Listen, put them on a Spirit flight. It's $49. And they'll have a bumpy ride. They can't bring their bag, but we paid for them anyway. So just leave them here and go home.
Okay. So it's good. So think about that. To send them back, it's going to cost $80 billion for 1 million. We think that there's about 20 million in the country.
Well, how much is it costing while they're staying here?
Exactly. There you go. So how does a country of 300 million people absorb 20 million people? Think about that percentage. How does it possibly absorb that amount of people, especially when they don't know the language, they don't know the rules, they don't know the laws, they can't work? I mean, what are we talking about here? But that's silly Millie and all the other stupid, people who, are going against Trump and are trying to push Kamala Harris there. They're trying to protect the government that they created. They're trying to protect the graft. They're trying to protect the corruption and the money that goes into their pockets. More war, more what? Money. That's how Cheney made all his money, right? That was when he was Bush's vice president. That's all we heard. He was a warmonger because that's how he made his money. Trump was on Joe Rogan and he talked about the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And he said that Silly Millie, that's my name for him, Silly Millie, said to Trump, leave the equipment. It's cheaper to leave the equipment. And Trump said, wait, you're telling me a plane that costs $151 million that if you put a tank of gas in it, it flies out. It's cheaper to leave that for the Taliban. What are you talking about? Well, I don't know for sure, but what do you bet that plane was already sold? That there are plenty of people that sell our crap to other people on the black market. What do you want to bet that somebody already had dibs on all that equipment that was there, and they were going to get paid under the table for leaving that equipment behind? And if you think that doesn't happen, then you're just naive. It happens.
Go on eBay, find all the stuff that disgruntled fired employees sell when they steal it from their office. You can get shit for a lot less. Go on eBay, you'll find the plane.
Yeah. Listen, I told you I was reading the book The Patriarch, and I was astounded at the corruption that there was in the Revolutionary War. I'm now reading a book called New York, which is a novel, but it's based in fact, and the corruption that took place in New York, and how Wall Street was built, and how the railroads were built, and how trading all happened. I mean, listen, people, we have been the chumps this whole time, all 246 years. We have been the chumps, and before we were the chumps in England. The middle class, the working class, is always the chumps. If you don't use your head, you're always going to be the chumps. What America was fantastic for was that people came here with a dream and a thought, and they said, I can make it because I can make it here. But you can't make it here if you're lazy and if you're stupid. And they are trying to make our kids lazy and stupid. Not trying. They have actually. They've stopped teaching history in class. They've stopped teaching
math.
Math. Yeah, they've stopped teaching the things that are necessary for kids to be able to go out there and make it. They stopped teaching kids to work with their hands. They've stopped shop. They've stopped home ec. They've stopped everything that kids need to know in order to survive in the world. And now they're complaining that there aren't enough workers, and so we have to import them from other countries. Think about that.
Maybe that's why they stopped cursive, so that they can't sign their names at the polling sites.
Exactly.
There's no more signatures. Just a click of a button, your initials that anyone can do.
Listen, we've all become chumps, and it all starts right here with this thing right here. All of it. It starts with that. We are looking for ways to escape. Alcohol, pills, pot, whatever. And the pharmaceutical companies, don't get me started. We know that the pharmaceutical companies are the railroad barons, because there's only 2 countries that are allowed to direct advertise to the population. Australia is one, and we're the other. And Australia has big restrictions. I've been saying forever that should not be allowed. So if anybody is listening from Congress here, you know who you are. First bill, stop them from direct advertising to people, because they make a mint. I went to the doctor yesterday, and you know what she did? We went through it. She said, did you get your COVID shot? I said, no, never. She said, did you get your flu shot? I said, no, I don't think I want it this year. I had COVID, so I think I'm covered. I probably still have antibodies. She says, oh, well, how about your RSV vaccine? I said, yeah, no. How about pneumonia? She went through a litany.
Because you don't remember when they used to get trips to Hawaii for selling the meds?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'd rather it be that way, because at least it's not direct advertising. But the interesting thing is that this RSV thing just came out, and now my doctor is hawking it to me. There is no reason why do I need an RSV? Are my antibodies low? She said, oh, everything is perfect. Everything looks great. Your blood looks great. Everything looks great. Everything's improving. You're doing great. You're exercising. You're losing weight. Oh, but let me give you 15 different shots that she wanted to put in my body. I was like, why?
Unless it's Botox, lady, just stop it.
I know, that's exactly what I said. I'd rather have Botox. I mean, if I'm going to put poison in my body, I'd rather make me look good. Don't you want people to be able to get sick and create antibodies so that you could defend against illness, especially that so much illness is now coming into our country? They don't give a shit about the illness that's coming over that border. And there's tons of it. There is now in the jails, they found tuberculosis that is resistant. I mean, people,
monkeypox, is that? No, that's not from here, is it?
They're killing us. They're killing us. All right, so we've gone way, way, way over. But at any rate, go out and vote. Go out and vote. All right, next Tuesday is election day, so we have to decide what we want to do. Do we want?
Oh yeah, no, I will not. We are not having a show unless we stay on all night because I would like to go to Scott Lebado's.
Okay, you can go to Scott Lebado's.
I mean, no, but I don't want to leave you high and dry if you want to do
No, you don't have to. I'm sure I could get somebody to get on. I'm just trying to decide if we should go all night or not and watch the returns together. But all right, well,
we'll decide.
I'm going to set up a show for next week and we're going to see because we start just as polls start to close. So it might not be worth it or maybe it is. I don't know. But we'll see. They programmed to push these shots to kill us. Absolutely.
Everyone's going to be stuck onto the fake news looking at the numbers.
Yeah. All right. So most people are going to Lebado. So, maybe I'll just live on Facebook or something. All right. So then we'll see a week after next. Because we know we're not going to know what happens until.
Well, I'll be with you with the week after next.
What's that?
I'll be with you the week after next.
That's right.
I'm staying.
Yeah, but that's on Thursday, not on Tuesday.
No, that's
Wednesday.
the Thursday of elect. No,
The 8th?
I'm coming. I'm coming 2 days after Election Day, but I'm staying.
Oh, you're coming 2 days after Election Day. All right, and you're staying here for a while.
Jimmy.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yay!
That's why I'm driving now. Yeah, I told him. I said, you know what? You're going to camp. You fly from there, and I'm going to stay.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Yay! I get my Jenny. Okay. Either there'll be a show or they won't. I don't know. Maybe there'll be something. All right. I'll talk to you all later. See you maybe next Tuesday. If not, we'll see you the week after next, but probably I will see you for some portion of next Tuesday. Jennifer, I love you. I can't wait to see you. And you get the last word.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night, everybody. All right. Not yet.